Hello, this is Jen Lee.
And I'm Nicole Mack.
We are general surgery residents at the University of British Columbia and work with Dr. Sam Weisman on the systematic review entitled Are Resident Physicians Safe Drivers After Extended Duration Work Shifts? A Systematic Review. The inspiration for this study comes from personal experience, but is also relevant to discussions around resident occupational health that have been occurring over the last few decades. As you know, teaching hospitals traditionally assign more than 24 consecutive hours of work to residents for the purpose of patient coverage and also for education. In 1989, after the death of a patient in New York State was partially attributed to resident fatigue, the idea that residents' work hours are a liability prompted a greater push towards work hour restrictions in the US. Then, in 2000, further concern arose when a study by Arnett et al. Reported that being awake for over 17 hours at a time resulted in decrease in performance on certain tasks, similar to a blood alcohol level of 0.05%. As opposed to the US, in Canada, work hour restrictions are determined provincially, and the 24-hour call structure is common. In our province of British Columbia, the in-house work hour limit is 30 consecutive hours. This does raise several occupational health concerns associated with fatigue, such as needle-stick injury, impairment of knowledge acquisition, substance abuse, and the safety of operating motor vehicles. This led us to the research question of the systematic review. We wanted to know, what is the current evidence evaluating the risks of driving after a long work shift?
A systematic search was carried out in Embase, Medline, PubMed, and the Cochrane Register. A keyword search was performed. The search results were independently screened by 2 reviewers, and duplicates were removed. Then, the title and abstracts were screened, and the selected studies advanced to full text screening. The reference list of included studies were also searched for additional studies. We included articles containing original research, a population including residents, and evaluating any outcome related to automobile driving after an extended duration work shift, also known as call. We excluded articles without original data and also excluded articles with work shifts less than 16 hours. 5 papers met the inclusion criteria. 3 were survey-based studies and 2 driving simulation studies. The quality of the evidence was low to very low, and the results were not pooled due to study heterogeneity. Here, we are highlighting the main themes and the findings of the literature evaluating driving behavior after an extended duration work shift. 2 main themes emerged from our review. Firstly, that residents are at risk for falling asleep behind the wheel after long work shifts, and secondly, that work-related fatigue may contribute to increased motor vehicle collisions and near-miss driving events. Studies consistently found that residents are at risk for falling asleep behind the wheel while driving post-call. The findings that more call shifts and increasing number of sleep loss hours are associated with higher risks of falling asleep behind the wheel suggest that work-related fatigue is a contributing factor to dangerous driving behavior. With respect to MVC risk, all 3 survey-based studies found an increased risk of falling asleep at the wheel associated with long call shifts. Of the studies evaluating the risk of MVCs post-call, 1 prospective study found an odds ratio greater than 2 for MVCs post-call, and a driving simulation study found a significant increase in crashes in male residents. The post-call period poses significant driving safety risks. Awareness and avoidance are reasonable initial preventative strategies. At the institutional level, in order to optimize occupational health and well-being during residency and beyond, education focused on responsible driving post-call should be considered an important priority.